Flower of Life and Phyto 5. A geometric pattern of evenly spaced repeating overlapping circles of equal radii in two-dimensional space. Resembling a mandala, it's a sacred geometry blueprint representing the primordial desire for completion and unity of self. For this reason, Phyto 5 adopted the Flower of Life to graphically depict the quantum nature of its 5 elemental lines of skincare. Like the tangible flower, the blooms too, radiating the first vibratory patterns of the universe, showing us that all things emerge from one perfectly organized pattern. The geometric pattern of the Flower of Life represents the essential concept of quantum physics. Phyto 5's energetic 5-element lines vibrate with a potency that registers in the quantum range of frequency. The Flower of Life is used as a focus both for study and meditation, but it should not only be viewed as a thing outside of and separate from ourselves. Follow for more or gain insight to add energy medicine to your healing practice. Go ahead and visit tonyad.tv/Phyto-5 or email info@tonyad.tv and I will see you on the other side. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Blessings to you, my energetic being.
Inshallah and ashe. Again, blessings to you, my energetic beings. I love saying that out loud. Are you ready to explore more than extraordinary love for yourself? Having extraordinary love for yourself, your inner corridor. So while we're waiting for people to hop on to the show, the live stream, maybe tuning into the replay a little later, taking a breath and a pause and just climbing into our skin, being embodied as the magical being that we are. It's a moment in review or to review, taking notes upon the way that we have been treating ourselves. So is the way that you've been treating yourself loving, or is it on a level that you truly deserve? In everything we do, there should be some love artistry, if you will, behind every action that we initiate and every action that we take. The moon's been doing the cosmic dance with both our wounds and even our ability to excel or expand upon those wounds. Our wounds move to a degree where we are, in fact, developing a faith in our entire essence of being whole, the entirety of who we are. Myself, I am feeling the gratitude that Jupiter is now entering my 8th house of other people's money and resources, abundance, gifts, inheritance. I don't really like going down the rabbit hole on that, but the bounty of return, like things being returned tenfold, just saying. Describing a new way of how we are being treated outside of ourselves, which I'll get more into. Welcome to the Daily Snippet. Once again, I am your host. I'm a practicing holistic shaman, medium, and otherworldly life coach, and a subtle energetic surgeon, a reflector by design. I do go by the term holistic shaman medium, which is just a choreography of them all. And my intention is to bring to you a way to utilize indigenous technologies, the elemental, imaginal realms, our original divine blueprint, navigating our soul's harmonic through these realms and a lot more, through the dimensions, portals, gateways, the cosmos, with offerings, prescriptions, ritual, the otherworldly kind, predominantly, to really assist and add to the juice of your main stage container, the origin. Rituals are the origin. They are really food for our soul. I'm not sure where we got off track from our origin, but it's part of our personal medicine, our prime directive, our gift and purpose. It's all innate to each and every one of us. Once we turn that light on, our starlight, we shine brighter. My name is Tonya D, and welcome to my virtual medicine room. And if you have yet to subscribe to my channels, please do, YouTube or otherwise. I'm kind of out there. Tonya D on YouTube, where you're probably tuning in, and Musing with Tonya D, my podcast. We've got the season of the witches there. But we are in the season of Aries. Who am I? Who am I inside of me? Really, it's the I am. Before I go any further, however, let's give a shout out to all the new peeps entering the village, the community. A validation. I really like to give a voice of acknowledgement to let you know I am accessing you, new friends and guests arriving to my show, new subscribers. So just a thank you. And also those of you, of course, that have been a part of my journey since the beginning. It really takes a village. It takes a tribe. So again, gratitude and blessings to you as well. And again, those of you that do tune in later and watch the replay, at your convenience. And if you, of course, don't mind hitting the bell button so you're notified, along with the white rabbit, the white button, the choreography of that. Comment, actually, if you feel like you need a message for your day to get you out of your own way. Sharing is just another way of paying it forward. You could, of course, always find me on other social channels, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Predominantly, I am on YouTube. Just remember, I am your otherworldly shamanic reflecting assistant. You truly are your own healer. I totally believe that. But sometimes we do need an otherworldly life coach assistant to get us out of our own magical way, myself included. I had my own little energetic hiccup yesterday. The daily snippet. What's this all about? Well, I like to bring in the cosmic insights, the planets, the choreography of the stars. By design, I do follow the lunar energies, the moon through the seasons and the gates. The moon reflects, navigating through these seasons, the season of Aries, our root channel, feeling the physicality, physical empathy, rooting our intentions, our manifestations, root centered, red, if you can see the red. Red's a very cosmic color, by the way, whether it's our root center, it's in the zones, the 4 zones of our arrival. It's very different. It's a very different moon moving through the season of Aries, the inner child, along with the elements, the 4 pillars. I do a mystery guest on Sundays about their own 4 pillars. I like to bring that in. I also include the meridians, the pathways, just depending on what I see. I really kind of tune into that a little bit, along with the subtle energies, the chakras, and lately, the auric fields. Literally scrubbing the auric fields. I don't know if that's because I'm a reflector by design, but I really felt this scrubbing of the auric fields, like just cleansing them, each one of them up. So knowing that we've entered the season of Aries, the corridor of upgrading our ego, our physicality, our character, our behaviors, plans of action, even sometimes defensive, that defensive posture. I have some friends that have moons in Aries, and when the moon is in Aries in its season, whoa, let me tell you, each month, the choreography there, they do act out, which is quite interesting, but they're not loving to their heart. So this is part of our inner posture, inner imagery to the outer imagery, how the world outside of us sees us, treats us, reflects or shines back to us, appearing anew. So this is a can-do energy. It really assists to make things happen. It's the good dad, the hero, the sports dad. I learned all that from Christopher Renstrom, if you've seen him out there, Instagram, usually on Saturdays. But what's energetically encoded in our ancestors' realm even, because the root center goes into the earth star. It's this choreography into the nature. It's an energy of often feeling as if we are seriously a dumbass, not so much a smart ass. But our ego, is it negating or affirming? Is it positive? Is it optimistic? Or is it negative and depressing? Are we dimming our light? It's a kind of a topsy-turvette energy, very tricky, grasping between all of these energetics and all of these fields. The birthing of anew, it really is the spring equinox, the journeyman, going on the journey, being a nomadic explorer, the Merlin effect, especially when we're moving into a path of ascension, soul improvement and growth, and really feeling triggered possibly. So a growth period is when often with ourselves or others, you might witness somebody being triggered. And when that happens, really taking a breath and a pause or a pause first and act in kindness. Of all the things to be, ultimately be kind. As they're, you're going to witness them being in a growth period. That's really what that's all about. So most of the work is that of going through a period of retraining our ego, our physicality, getting a new wardrobe, shedding the old skin, birthing anew. Half the time, the wardrobe's not even ours anyway. It's through all this programming and conditioning of people telling us what we're supposed to be doing, what the great life looks like, all the things. But the higher intention and the actions that we take. So we're really going through a process of recalibrating our reactions to our inner world, to ourselves. To me, it's not so much about a reprogramming, but it's a returning to our origins, maybe returning into or from the womb before we're in this in-between space, before our arrival date, the rising of our origins, before the conditioning was happening, before it began in this world. It's the part of ourselves that reacts to ourselves. It's a container of feeling safe and secure. It really comes online while we're in the womb up to 3 months, sometimes 6 months, the root center, that channel there. But this has been kind of termed who we are, who am I inside of us? Who am I? Like, do we even really know? It's the part of us that initiates and motivates the things that we do to act upon, just harnessing in our courage, our strength, and generating our willpower. It really is like a generator. That's kind of what I see that as, defending ourselves for that safety, for that survival. The who am I? That is the core of this Aryan energy. Now, Tiger just hopped on the stage, so be warned. But this is all about new beginnings, starting anew, fresh, being a freshie, and really asking ourselves, who am I today? And I ask myself as a reflector by design, who am I today? Am I with the right people? Am I in the right place? Seriously, it's a thing. And knowing that I have to take, or I should take, a lunar cycle before I decide on things is really, sometimes I have to reach out to people because I have to hold space for that. But we do have the root center and the heart center choreographing or doing the cosmic dance today, depending on our own heart, the synchronicity, the resonance, along with our rootedness, our ego character. So you may really find that your root center is going to be a little bit more active, maybe a little bit more excited, maybe a little bit more juicy, or it could be on the opposing defensive team. Kind of reminds me of the linebackers in football, I guess. And just really grounding. Grounding is truly the energy of the season of Aries. Grounding into an elemental that really brings the ingredient that makes you feel safe and secure into your physicality, into your body, being embodied and manifesting. We cannot manifest if we're always up in the enlightenment field. We have to bring it down and channel it in through the root and then down into the root earth star. So it's a process. So an action that you are able to initiate through your heart space from not just today's energy, but moving forward. So any kind of activity that you can really tune into your heart, into your chalice, and asking your heart or tuning into or vibrating into your heart, just really a feeling. What's the feeling that your heart is choreographing and expressing? It's an inner reflection. Hi, Tiger. An inner reflection, reflecting a rainbow prism, a spectrum of your inner baby, your inner child, your 2-year-old self. It really might even feel like you're going back into the womb or to 3 to 6 months. It is the root center. That's when it activates, along with our heart center, where we learn about love when we're about the age of 4. The heart center, the energetic center that holds all of these notes. It's time to kind of do a galactic check-in with your heart's chalice. Do you need to scrub it? Notice if your heart is in a space of longing or belonging. What is the heart really longing for? What does your inner child want to play with? What does it want to choreograph? What does it want to paint? What's the canvas look like? Along with our heart space, expressing and longing to create, trying to speak or to tell you something. The emotional field is a very fast field of insight and information. Feelings are the first language expression. Children speak through language of facial expressions, emotions. And in doing so, really being in observership. You might have to look at yourself outside of yourself in the third person omnipresent energy field, if you will, and observe your behavior, your actions, your characters, just your natural instincts and responses when you're in the flow to what your inner heart is actually feeling or choreographing. Tiger here. So when we are in pain or hurt in our heart space, we may also become angry, triggered, defensive. It's kind of the liver, the gallbladder kind of energy, being in the season of spring. Sadness. We may try to distract ourselves through grief and be activated. Our ego's first reaction, it's our first response team. It's our alert system. It really is safety and security. It's a warning system to our heart. It's kind of this nucleus of our learning or understanding who we are. Who are we in this planetary realm on the earth plane? And who am I? It really doesn't matter what your inner heart is expressing, but more importantly, the prime directive is to train this ingredient inside of us to respond to ourselves in a more loving way. So it's kind of like being in a state of loving who we are during the day and loving ourselves throughout the day. It's a day kind of to experiment, if you will, experience even. How do we treat ourselves in the physical realm? Maybe there are some new loving ways in our response to ourselves. You might even want to ask yourself if you are responding in kindness. Does it bring you inner peace, joy, happiness, love? Really just assisting our actions, behaviors, characters to become the guardian, the gatekeeper, to be in service of our heart, the queen. We have all these abilities, we have these gifts. In essence, just practice being heart centric, loving. It's a day to really put an end to any and all behaviors that are really bringing us pain or hurting our heart space or others outside of us. That's usually what's happening when people act out. So that's kind of the frequency of our day. Hey, Tiger. So onto the elemental highway. The choreography of our day. Look at that. Looky here. Look what we got. A Yin Earth Rabbit, a Yaya Mao. Reminds me of the rabbits, but look at all those rabbits. This is a very inward journey day. Yin Earth houses all the little beings, allergies. Earth is also a transitional energy. So if you're born with an Earth day master or a Earth on the year, any kind of Yin Earth predominantly, Earth is a, well, actually both Earths. I forgot that. Earth is an in-between season energy. If you're born on this, you're always in transition, actually. If this was a person, I would say they have some allergies in nature, not so much from food, but really out in nature. Nature being trees, nature being not so much water, but trees, beings that are in the trees. Allergies to tree beings. Yin Earth is a nurturing, patient energy, thoughtful, caring, understanding. And wood is an authority. It's ambition to an Earth day master. So this is an unbecoming authority. It's a transitioning authority. So you kind of have to ask yourself, is there a power that is moving you? A force that is shifting you? We definitely need some spirit or fire energy. Big sun, the sun that shines upon everything. Our day is actually considered as a weak day master. So fire produces, it creates. So this is the energy where we create our own resources, your own support system, your own business. So when a person in their chart has zero resource or mentors or assistants, the producing or parent agent, they become usually their own resources. They have to. They're weak. Things aren't luck. 10-year luck periods when the resources come or arrive, or in the year pillar as well, then the person has resources or support coming to them. To them, it's a great time to shine. But fire activates its activities, it's Mars, it's action, all the fire energies. It's also Jupiter. Fire is related to Jupiter as well, and also nature, actually, in the Chinese choreography. But fire is also love, it's joy. Earth is happiness and contemplation. Nature is kindness. Maybe we need to bring in the Tin Man, metal to trim the wood. Be courageous. That's kind of the feeling sensation of metal. Besides grief and sadness, we can also be courageous. But for our day, what do we do? The metal may weaken us because we don't have any root. Our Yin Earth is floating. It's floating in space. So that's kind of something to muse about. Like, are you floating in space? Are your messages just hanging out in the ethers or with the star grid? Something like that. Or are you bringing them in through the air, telepathy, stuff like that? So we always have options in our choreography. And if you watched Monday's show, I did pull a card for today, which is the Solace, which I love this guy. He's part of the Singers of the Realm. And if you've listened to me before, I love it when the Singers of the Realm show up. They sing the underlying song of the universe. They're beings of light. They're often called angels, gods, divas. But all we need to do really is to call upon them. They're always there, like everything, even an ancestor, right? To assist us, but thanking them, being grateful. It's like when a gift is received, we're receiving the gift right after this new moon. But what's curious is the 13, which is actually the opposite of the 31 with the undressing of the salad that we had yesterday. And we've got Pluto moving to Aquarius, which is also a 4, Uranus, that both of these numbers really sync up to or add up to. So it's like, hello, are you picking up what I'm throwing down here? This is preparing us for this frequential shift. So does our heart believe we belong? Where do we believe we do belong? What are we law of attracting into our inner corridor? Are we in manifesting alignment? Are we rooting it into who we are? Are we being self-loving or self-loathing? How do we treat ourselves in this I am energy? How do we treat ourselves on the inside? What that does is it sends out frequential energies, the frequency we're frequencing, to the outer world, and then that tells people how to treat us. So if you're not being treated in kindness, you're not treating yourself kindly on the inside. So do you believe you belong being treated this way or that way? You know, I deserve to be treated with value, valuing me self. That's just an example. So the soulless, what is the soulless? This is consciousness, it's knowledge, it's synthesis, it's spiritual empowerment, unwavering spiritual empowerment. So the soulless actually stands midway between the realms of the singers and all that is manifest reality, the realms of the Fae, this world, other realms, dimensions, galaxies, all the things, right? Portals. But the singers, they dwell in all of the cosmos without any boundaries. They are boundaryless. They're differentiations. We, the beings of the realms, we live in the worlds where there are limitations to overcome, boundaries to identify and expand, which really helps us, assist us to grow. When we don't know what we need or who to turn to, the soulless is the singer that assists us. All we have to do is ask and bring in this energy and just allow the surface noise, the clutter, the cosmic debris to fade, and just know that he's there in waiting. He's encouraging us to really stand on our own 2 feet and to even recognize or utilize our own innate wisdom, our ancient wisdom, the origins, and to depend on our own inner strength, acknowledge and work with our own amazing gifts, talents, purpose, qualities, stuff like that, and using those as stepping stones, which then improve us. And at the same time, the soulless does recognize that we cannot do everything alone. So assisting us to make connections, be in community, to have insights that help us to really accept wisdom, energy, assistance, attracting people to our village that can really assist us to grow. The Fae, the beings of the other worlds, with actually faith. Tiger is drooling on my desk. That's great. Drooling, I might look into that. But with faith in our own choreography, our own human spirit, bringing spirit into matter. We're 99.99 infinity beyond of energy anyway. But the soulless sees us as arrows. Imagine yourself as an arrow being fired from a cosmic bow, choosing our own path as we soar into the ethers, the unknown, the vast, those undreamt of heights, and empowering us by trusting ourselves, being a creative life force, being in creativity, synchronicity with the light, the spiritual empowerment. That's how the soulless is viewed. We need to remember that this kind of sincerity it's there to assist us when we are feeling as if we are seemingly lost, a lost cause, having abandoned hopes, wishes, and dreams. When we don't even know what to ask for, honestly, just ask for his guidance. Then do our best, the best we can for ourselves, treating ourselves better than ever before. So this is all the choreography right before Pluto moves into Aquarius. You really can't make the shift up. The universe is literally galactically setting the stage. It's like the primer. The Great Spirit has our back. So we are in or coming into a revolutionary elevated frequency. Our world is no longer going to be that of what our ancestors lived in. My 98-year-old young grandma and her sister hitting 100. I mean, they've been through things that they have never seen, from outhouses, carriages, cars, all the things. Imagine what they've seen in just 100 years, a lot. So we are truly heading into an era of the Jetsons. And if you don't know what the Jetsons are, Google it. It was actually one of my favorite childhood cartoons on Saturdays, where man had robots, a robot maid, flying cars, food that just poofed into something. Seriously, Google it. I'm just preparing you. And Wally, if you've watched that cartoon. So those are kind of the choreographies, but it's whatever we tune into, right? So, however, with the energy of today, focusing in on the nucleus of how are you treating yourself? What or how do you respond? What is your response to yourself? Are you responding with kindness and compassion, inner peace, joy, love percolating? This nucleus should be in heart alignment, tuning into the needs of who you are, who am I, an ego response that is more loving than ever before in your inner corridor, so that light shines even brighter. And to be fully enlightened, being fully embodied, descending into the body, coming down through the crown all the way down to the root cause of how you treat yourself. Full enlightenment, and literally, where a habit of a lifetime becomes a habit of its own, we're disintegrating that or leaving an old habit or patterning, and how we have been treating ourselves. Maybe you want to upcycle your intake of food. Is the food feeding you or is it negating you? Either way, just respond with love all day today and moving forward, and ask yourself that. We're in a place to position ourselves to become our ultimate greatest heart driven guardian, the ego guarding us, safety, security, the root center, the guardian potential of our own inner galaxy. Nothing happens in a day. Babies incubate for 9 months. So this really is just a simple task of loving who we are in this choreography of this day and noticing, look at what you've done. See how far you've come and know that you are in soul service to yourself. It's time to take better care of who you are. Take a bow in the mirror. People will try, as they always do, to take us down, especially if they see your light shining brighter than theirs. They tend to want to dim our light. So I say, shine on, my star friend. Change Your Stars is actually an online offering that I have. I would for sure check that out. If you're feeling like your intuitive gifts are percolating and bubbling, not sure where you belong, I would definitely check it out. But I would affirm with this energy that's happening this week, happening. I love that. Happening. That might be like my spiritualating. But either way, I would affirm that I am elevating my inner garden to treat myself with love. And Ariel, I haven't talked about the archangel Ariel, but she's like the goddess of nature. So yeah, percolating, going to nature. Even I believe the cartoon, the Disney movie Ariel was actually choreographed after this angelic being. But it's spring, it's a new beginning, birthing anew, and just integrating this new birthing. We're all in a transition. No one's going to recognize us, uh, not just this year, but into the future. It's all going to be transformed. But this is happening in our inner garden at the moment. So, with that, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you on the other side. Ashe, blessings as always.
Self going.
So there's, you know, the only way that I know of to completely actually resolve it is to do the process that I do with women. So I work on all of those things, every belief, every chronic emotion, all of those things like control and all of those coping mechanisms, all of the reasons and things that we overthink, that we don't feel safe. I actually resolve all of them within a modality or program which is very quick, very simple, but it basically just takes us into a real life wake up call, which is sort of like a filterless state where we can actually resolve those things at the deepest level, so that when we are finished in that same session, those things are no longer an issue. So someone could go into the session with issues of control, issues